speaking, RAYNET-UK, RAYNET. This is call 4 November Romeo Charlie, operated today by Greg Fossey with Golf Uniform Bravo, serving as net week's activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all amateur radio operators interested in emergency communications. The primary purpose of the net is for members to test equipment, exchange traffic, use information, and additional information can be found at the RAYNET-UK website on www.uk.net. This is a directed net, which means all calls are to control stations unless you're on the street. And all RAYNET-UK operators are invited to encouraged to check into the net. When you do check in, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name, and if you wish to leave the net in, then please call in and out. Otherwise, if you want to leave the subsequent sounds, please make it clear you want to do it at the time. After I've heard a few check-ins, I'll repeat who I've heard. If you're not acknowledged, then please do try again. Call in. I will be calling for any strays at the end of the UK and international sections. So I should check-ins to the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net in call sign number order. So any stations with their call sign wishing to check in, please call now. This is G4 and RC.
Wolf 8 Echo Yankee. EY, name is Mike.
Right. In and out. E4 and RC. It was a bit of a double there, but take a Echo Yankee. Good afternoon, Mike, staying with me. And good afternoon, Ray, Golf, Golf, Quebec, Juliet, who's in and out. Any other names, please, G4 and RC?
Over Kilo Lima Charlie. In and out, please, Greg.
Golf 8, Kilo Lima Charlie, good. I've copied you in and out. Okay, that's 7. Station speaker 7 and I call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. Okay, it's all 7 November Echo Hotel. G7. Alex, give that double G7 and the H bird out. Capture on the net. Any other sounds, please? G4 and RC, over. See, there's 6s. Stations figure 6, and I call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. And RC, second call, any stations figure 6, I call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. And RC, then let's go for figure 5. Figure 5, any call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, and down to the 4s. Figure 4, and call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
KIL Kilo India Lima 6.
Golf 4 Whiskey Quebec Bravo. Golf 4 Kilo Uniform Juliet, Bravo in Watford. Molly.
G4 XUR, name is Somerset, in and out to the next break. Thank you.
G4RC, never quite get prepared for us. We get some time. So, good afternoon, Keith, Golf 4 Whiskey Quebec Bravo, Trevor, Golf 4 Kilo Uniform Juliet, and Phil, Golf 4 for staying with me. And David, Golf 4 Extra Uniform Romeo, and more. Any other floors, please? Oh, correction, and Philip, Golf 4 Kilo and Lima. So, let's have other floors, please, G4RC, over. G4RC, let's go, please. Call sign, please go ahead. G4RC, over. Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-ray, Ian. Golf 3, good afternoon, Ian. And any other please, G4RC, over. News, station 72 in that call, sign that includes you intermediate news. Please call now, G4RC, over.
0 Charlie Mike here, calling from
Zero Charlie Mike Sierra, good afternoon, Colin. What do you announce? Any other twos, please? G4RC, over. RC, then we'll move on to the ones. Station figure 1, and then call sign, please go ahead. G4RC. Second call, figure 1, and then call sign, please go ahead, over.
185. 95, in and out.
Golf 1 up for Tango Yankee, there we go. 2180 wide. Could you announce? Any other ones, please? G4RC, over. G4RC. Alright, so let's go for the Mike Zero stations of any regional identifier, please. G4RC, over. G4RC, second call from Mike Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please call now. G4RC, over.
Mike 0 Mike Foxtrot Sierra, Delhi.
For RC, good afternoon, Drew. Mike 0 Mike Foxtrot Sierra. And finally, Golf Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please. G4RC, over.
Golf Whiskey 0, Juliet, Roy. Good afternoon, Greg. Name is Andy. RAYNET Pembrokeshire. No question to me, so in out, please, over.
W0JLX, G4RC. Good afternoon, Andy. Missed last week. Copied you in and out this week, though. So any UK stations who've missed their turn to call in that want to do so, please call now. G4RC, over.
G4LRC, MI0, and as all both Northern Ireland and the night.
Mike India Zero, Mike Sierra Oscar. Good afternoon, Philip. Copy you in advance. Thanks for calling in. Okay, any international liaison stations, any of our colleagues from Roadside Bond of Norway, Aaron in Ireland, Aries in Slovakia, any of our international friends, please? For an RC over. For an RC, any station UK or international, that's missaid, so just call in, please go ahead. For an RC over. Nothing heard. Okay, Chief for an RC. Good afternoon. Reminder, today's net is being streamed by 778 onto YouTube today. Past live streams and recordings are available by searching C778, that's 47 November Echo Hotel on YouTube. If you like what it does, give them a thumbs up, a like, a follow, there's buttons, methods, so please do that so he knows it's worthwhile. A story I forgot to mention last week was the Ofcom responses to their consultation on requiring telecommunications operators to enhance resilience to network failures, including power outages. They were seeking things for resilience on radio access network sites, that's cell sites to you and me, and 4-hour battery backup on active cabinets supporting fibre band. Understandably, given the cost involved running into the hundreds of millions, the network operators are saying the need isn't there because of evolving cell coverage, or the customers would have some cost of deployments, or highlighting that the average customer minutes lost on calls in 2022 was just 32 minutes across a year. No apparent thought that power loss in a wide area, and no indication yet that Ofcom may impose some national requirements. This is certainly something to keep an eye on because they do seem to be trying to back onto the power networks rather than communications ones. Which makes it unfortunate that Hurricane Ernesto has not had a lot of airtime this week, given it doesn't really affect the American mainland. It has suffered a power loss affecting 71% of their connected customers. No major damage caused on the island, and Amazon Network really concerned themselves with the situation reports from Google repeaters. At home, Austria and particularly Vienna have suffered flooding following heavy rains on Friday and Saturday, caused severe damage, one casualty under a bus by water, and it's affected transport links, etc. Seemed on any amateur activity, but I'm going to suspect none will be reported from Austria, because that's the one. So, let's see what you've all been up to. Mike, face Echo Yankee, G4, and I'll see you.
G4 NRC from G8EY. Yes, good old Ofcom. Industries, not just fibre to the premises, but also fibre to the books down the road. Wonder how they're going to back up power to those. And as you say, when we get a power outage, it involves a bigger area than we can overlap with. Oh well, I'm sure we'll cope one way or another. But yeah, everybody's tending to avoid that. Yeah, noticed things, obviously weather-wise over the area. Noticed the fires in Greece, which they seem to have under control. Yeah, there's all these things going on. From my point of view, just had the Land Rover MOT, and yeah, that's more money gone down the promotion side, but there we go. Let's keep these things going. But otherwise, not too much activity in this part of the world. No events. I noticed that Essex have asked for support from other regions for the Clacton Air Show this year. We'll all be around if necessary. From G8EEY.
HFMFO Yankee, G4RC. Yeah, I couldn't see anything you what I saw talking about backups to fibers like cabinets, or fibers like curb if you're American. However, I do seem to have module sized truck batteries in there. But they were generally 240 volt fed, and was even told recycling some of those cabinets to being EV charging points. Power cut areas don't necessarily align with having lots of cell overlaps, and if you did have cell overlaps, the capacity would be compromised. But it does seem to be turning into a real Voldemort subject again of he who shall not be named. But we know about it and shall continue to talk about it. Noted that as it's asked for support for Factor Now show, they've also been after lines, etc. So trying to meet those needs as well. Right, with that thread round to Graham, G7NEH. Let's see what's going on YouTube. And whether November 3 X-Ray Uniform Sierra has joined us again, because I did send him an NTA on in the week. Given he participated last week. G7NEH, G4 and RC here. G4 and RC, G7NEH returning. Yeah, good afternoon, good afternoon to all on the net. Last week's viewing figures were 23 views and 5 likes, which is quite good. And I'll try from this end. No, the M3 station hasn't or has not today as yet. But if he's joining us, good afternoon. So yeah, I'll give you this week's figures. So there we go. G4 and RC, G my age. G7NEH, G4 and RC returning. Okay, well, I just thought I'd send a message in real slow time using the radiogram just to confirm things and open up some of the channel. Also, trying to notice a bit more watching you, not sure of what's going on. This week I've been having overseas colleagues, people like, about instant messaging, and one of them complaining 2 clients connected to the same instant messaging system. The message was taking 2 or 3 minutes to be seen on the other client from the one he sent it on. And this whole reception of instance is really difficult, and people expect our emails now. And the idea that they might have to wait for a while for something to be parcelled through our lives is a little hard for them. Just as I watch the NCS delays between the initiative picking it up, the variable delay against digital voice systems are just as problematic. Right, Graham, look forward to delay 3 years later. Let's go for Kilo and Lima, G4 and RC, over. G4 RC, G4 KIL. Thanks very much, I agree. Nothing too much I have to comment on. Notice a few points about what was being said about the backup. Yes, have to watch this space, I guess. And always it's like any form of insurance, isn't it? It's a complete waste of time unless you need it, and then it started. And that's the category, I think. Cost of MOT we mentioned, that's kind of relevant to our group in terms of our group vehicle. It's just coming up its MOT. Sorry, this is questions of is it worth having the vehicle? Well, we had that one before. It's very nice. Is it worth cost? Interesting question. Apart from that, I hope to be on the HFNet on Wednesday. It will be possible. That's sort of the plan. So I look forward to that if I think that's probably all for me at the moment. G4RC, G4 KIL. G4 KIL. RC returning. Okay, yeah, HFNet, the 21st is always a problematic one for me because our group net is the day before. That's difficult because I need this group net to be group-based as well. So the 20th is a group net for us, 21st is HF, and I think our group net this month is on the 20th for the access questions. We'll inevitably people in at some point. I definitely think it is this time around. I haven't corrected myself. Group vehicles, well, yes, it's always a challenge. Got them rather relieved that the group doesn't have one, given the storage fully having transferred home with the house. My biggest challenge is finding a new home for our clerk master, which hasn't been used for years. And home, but it just feels bad to get rid of it. Right, next it's Key Golf 4, Whiskey Quebec Bravo. Yeah. Golf 4, Whiskey Quebec Bravo, G4 WQB, G4 and RC.
G4 and RC, G4 Delta. Yeah, sorry about that. After last week's debacle, I came to the conclusion that the radio tone RC4 frustrating me for the last 3 or 4 years was enough. So I've changed that now, and I've got an Enrico S200. So whether or not I've got a signal report, and whether it was a false start and fading, I don't know. And the other thing that happened is my DV switch servers all going at exactly the same time, 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, from which I concluded the IP address showing for them was different to the IP address showing for the Pi-Star on the RAYNET-UK DMR website. BT had very kindly decided to do an upgrade. Every time they do, of course, it changes the IP address. The Pi-Star stayed on for a little bit and then collapsed in the same sort of way. So if you have a problem, it's worth looking at that. Quick reboot and they all went again. So anyway, interested in a signal report to see whether or not it's working properly. That's you, G4W.
Quebec Bravo, G4 and RC returning. Okay, well, start notwithstanding, when it's working, it's 100% copy, no dropouts, everything's fine. IP address changes. I thought there was a way of getting registered on one of those no IP servers, the ones that will turn a dynamically allocated IP address to a more normal domain name. Whether or not there's a solution to get past BT's reconfigurations. Just an idle thought. Hold on, just in case, try to be able to provide little inputs since he's next up as well. Not an issue I have on my ISP. I have a very static IP version 4 address and more IP versions to deal with, which is fine. I do know what to do with them all the time. Okay, Trevor, any inspiration on no IPs? G4KUJ, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, and the group G4KUJ. Yeah, afternoon, Greg and everybody else. No IP survey on the Arden side. A free arrangement to renew it every month, but I got an offer to do 12 months for $16, I think. So down that route, which has proved to be satisfactory. Whether you can, I've no experience of integrating that in
DB switch usage. You can do that or not. I would have thought you probably can. But yes, find out what BT have been up to is to go into home on the router, and you'll be able to see the router went down, or when it changed, or when there's been any updates. I think ours went down for about half an hour, about 1 o'clock in the morning. Didn't do an update of so that must have just been some sort of system outage for maintenance or something. Anyway, that's it from this end. QO100 still working on, and our daughter's just come round for a cup of tea and to pick up Brandmeister, so I'll listen to the end and then I'll today G4 NRC, G4 KUJ. G4 KUJ, G4 NRC, okay. As you answer this one, Trevor, and you can focus on that one over as well. Between rehearsal, Arden, I've fastened all my Arden nodes up to the latest firmware again. It's a bit like painting the off-road bridge. But it doesn't really matter. They are backwards compatible. They're working fine. It's just they fear of missing out. So also trying to get the backlog here down, so I have to get some of the services running a bit better. But for spring, would it be Tuesday, Wednesday last week? Around here, if I remembered it correctly. And my download speed on PDFL halved. I'm probably trying to go through the angst of, shall I reboot everything and see if the speed comes back? Or shall I leave it alone to see if it retrains and gets the speed back over time? But I'm not wanting to do it and make it any worse. A lot of work in the area as Virgin Media have been plowing up roads, recabling to poles is frustrating. So everybody was sort of Virgin in my area, they get super fast broadband fibres to the premises. BT won't be coming to us for another year. Hopefully there's enough space on the pole when they finish. Okay, thanks Trevor, have fun, catch up with you through the week. Now it's Cheshire Corner with P4HUF, and just one email address I tried for Dane Valley for the request for help from North Staffordshire that didn't work. Can't remember who it was, we'll try from memory at some point and let you know. But I think we've got, and what we're going to get in North West seems happy. G4HUF, G4. G4, G4HUF, yep, okay, good afternoon Greg. Good afternoon to everybody else on the net. Yes, I've spotted the emails and I know exactly that it's a 2 echo call. Can't remember the rest of it, but his emails have been bouncing for a few weeks now, and albeit low priorities, it's something that I need to address by communicating with him, some of them, to find out what's going on. And I suspect that he's probably a bit more preoccupied with other things, and therefore off the bottom of the pile, so to speak. Fair enough, these things happen. I do vaguely remember him giving me an email saying he's had a job change, and that probably explains everything. So, fair enough. Very much for looking after the North Staff's job. It is appreciated, as I seem to be spending a lot of my time driving to and from Withenshaw Hospital. However, having said that, the good news is that G7EYR is back.
Bad news is, she came out on Friday and today picked up. So it's a constant stream of problems that we seem to be experiencing at this end. But well, I'm still trying to solve. So with that, nothing else exciting to add, unless there's any other comments from you. Sign out on this one, but continue to monitor the net. This is G482.
G4HUF, G4RC. Okay, well, hooks to that. Back home. See you back on the supervision. Hell, depending on who you've got a contract with, if anybody, you can always play the I've got a hospital person who you got to see, otherwise you get pushed to the priority list. Rejection, you jog my memory, not for the call side so much, but as for the reason that it was mailbox full. So, yeah, distracted for that person at the moment. Okay, property out on S1, so we'll go down to Ian, then we've got Drew, and then it's the top of the list for any finals. So Ian, Golf 3, Zulu Hotel X-ray, G4.
G4 NRC in the group, good afternoon, this is G3ZHX. Well to say today, but I have been helping the RAYNET-UK get Brian P180Y onto DMR. Since he called in a little while ago, I've been away for a few days, so I booked out of the loop a bit. So that's good news from my point of view. As regards IPs, you've got a fixed IP. Sometimes the IP sometimes has their own idea. My last company had a fixed IP, and I remember my colleagues trying to find out why it had suddenly changed overnight. And since we were a server for our customers, that was a bit of a problem. I used no IP for a CCTV unit for some years, and the problem with that was that it suddenly stopped working, and we're not sure why. We're still diving into that. But I did on the month update because of occasion as well. And by the time I got back to it, they wouldn't allow me to take it back for several months, and but we got over that. And there would have been other ways around if we needed to. And also, whilst we've been talking, Colin 30 CMS has said that his O2 cell tower failed, went off the air during a power failure, and went off the air instantly, showing there is no working power backup. That's in common on Graham G7NEH's screen. So from that, I will hand it back to you. G0.
Three, Hotel X-ray, G4, returning, and thanks to Colin for his comments on the immediate failure of the cell tower. Well, this was part of the argument that was put back by the telcos to Ofcom, that aside from the capital outlay of production, they don't last forever. If they use the horrible gel cells, then they've got a 7-year lifespan. If you're needy and if they don't get too hot, it would be a very expensive, repetitive job going around replacing all the batteries, and you can't actually get around them all in time. So, yeah, it's slightly embarrassing when that happens. Sometimes put my fingers in my ears when I'm talking about this at work with, yeah, all the batteries will last for the full 12 hours, and how they've been maintained, it might be a little bit different. So, fine, that's the input on no IP as well. Of course, I have to say this is archived, but there are many other fine static addressing to dynamic IP services. I'm not promoting their IP here, it's just they've got the most memorable name. And suppliers on my supplier is very good, so I don't IP address changing anytime soon, because I pay for the privilege. Okay, thanks Ian. And final on this round was Drew. Mike 0, Mike Foxtrot Sierra, Delta 0, Delta, and correction, Delta 4, Sierra.
Telephone number Charlie, Mike 0, Mike Foxtrot Sierra. Okay, where to start? Start hours and backup. For a happy 5 or 6 years, I worked in Nigeria for MTN, which was a Pan-African. And we had batteries and generators on all ourselves. And we actually produced, I think we were the second largest power producer in there. If you know Nigeria, the infrastructure is almost non-existent, and power regularly goes off on an almost daily basis, and every single house has their own backup generators and everything. You know, it is doable. It just costs money. I mean, we had a power division within MTN Nigeria, and it already had as many staff as our other support arms. It is doable. Vehicles. We miss our control vehicle all events, but yeah, it's difficult. It was expensive to maintain. Ours was specifically getting quite old and was, proving to be properly untenable. But there, Master, I must say, that is something we do miss, but it's probably, a trailer, and it's probably a lot simpler and a lot less hassle. We did a RS survey of the Penistone area for the Goose Fair, which is on the 9th of October. And that was interesting in what has changed with all the building. We're going to have to relook at our temporary repeater, and we're probably going to do the first event for us on a DMR. The council and the police were all very excited when we said encryption was a possibility, and took that one on board, so I guess I need to do a bit of work on that now. As far as IP, other IP providers are available, and I use DNS. The domains, and I've got a pair of static IPs on my incoming, which I advance, and that I done with a other than that, thanks for running that, Craig. Afternoon to everybody. And I'll hang around for the second hour soon, and I'm making a little bit about Arden from M0 MFS.
With full link, 10 Mike Foxtrot Sierra G4 and RC. Now has to leave your. Yeah, what do you do with this one? MTN, very familiar with that, with my international head of IARU. I'd also heard it wasn't that they were the second largest, or if not getting better than the supposed grid. What's interesting there is what people are getting ahead of in this country is the over-dependence on cell phones for everything. Cell phones are effectively the banks in some African countries, money transfers and all sorts of things happen. I believe it's also carry 2 or 3 cell phones around on the different networks. You get the best rates for whatever calls you're trying to make. So, interestingly for them, just left because of the dependency of everybody on the system. Pump-up mass on a trailer, the last we had was briefly tried. On its first attempt going across a field in Cheshire, it suffered what Elon Musk would call a rapid spontaneous disassembly as various bits fell off the trailer with the weight and bits. And like this again, it's proposed in a scout hut where it was used for us for many years. So the location was good for other things. Long term, it's too big and heavy for anybody to use. So I'm not sure I'll agree with that. I'm going to leave my hanging thing about encryption and security of messages to the very end as well, to keep through some helpful hints. Right, thanks for that. Let's go back to the top of the list and see what vertical synapses have been fired. Golf 8, Echo Yankee, G4.
G4 NRC from G8E. Why having awoke? No, seriously though. I was just sort of smiling to myself at the idea of fibre to the box. The nearest one that feeds me is from the corner from a fairly busy road into a bus route. I can imagine what would happen if that was a recharging point as well. I wonder how long the car would last. But there you go. Yeah. Yeah, encryption. It's interesting because obviously because of authorities like the US and the UK and Europe have, there's always back into every encryption system. So ultimately, there's always a way to defeat it. So we'll have to rely on the operation being set up for a event and only for a limited period of time to be 100% sure or 99.9% sure. Otherwise, it can always be broken. But there's so many different ways depending on what you're using. We're more or less come to the conclusion the only safe way is to issue everybody with the same make of radio so that we can do AES-256, which is about the optimum. Still crackable given enough centuries. AEY, and thanks for running the net, Brad. Over.
Eight Echo Yankee, G4 NRC returning. Yes, you remind me of something I didn't comment on previous weeks. So I upgraded the firmware in my radio on the DB25D to get the AES-256 encryption. After I'd done that, it meant it on the net, I came across a new that highlighted that yes, it would do it, and yes, it's providing that level of encryption, but it was a flaw in the system because it was sending the same data at the beginning, aiding the rapid decryption of it, a bit like Enigma was back in the Salts agreement. So, yeah, there are always flaws in some things and others. The main focus is really after is encryption as a means of stopping the casual listener from hearing stuff at times where it's most critical. If anybody wants to decrypt what we say 1, 2 or 5 years after the fact, then brilliant, because that's just how technology evolves. Otherwise, specific events define time, don't run it forever, otherwise you will just keep to find out how to break it. Okay, everyone, thanks Mike, talk to you next week. Graham, how are we doing reviews? Call 7 November at the hotel, it's E4 and I'll see you again. Yeah, okay, so this week we've had 15 views and 6 currently viewing with 3 at present. Just one thing to note from the chat board, G4KL is household batteries, so he'll be easily be listening to the end of the net. So there we go. And today's weather is temperature 19.5 degrees centigrade and humidity of 56, and the UV index of 3. Wind speed is approximately 3.36 mile an hour. So there we go. G78. 7 November Echo Hotel Golf. Charlie was ready. Okay, that's very timely since KI would have been next to be called, so I shall show him his out, given the battery failure. And the weather, I'm only 2 miles away from you, but in the shack, my £1, almost as it's 21 degrees in the house, which is slightly more pleasant than in previous weeks. For the long-term heads up, because of the event earlier, we might have a very interesting net to do. First full weekend of that's when the North South event is, because Graham and I will both be out on an event. And I can't remember quite where it finishes. I need to go and check my logs. But it'll be current potentially with an IAIU exercise, a North variant exercise under the DMR net. So when you're hearing this, just think of what the worst that can happen. Okay, thanks for doing the stream, Graham, and we'll jump and go to Keith, Golf 4, Whiskey, Quebec, Bravo. See you.
Thank you for WQB. Thanks for the information. I've just been doing a bit of stuff on Google, and some ISPs will provide you with a static IP address, which is rather a nice idea. I mean, the people I'm with certainly don't. So just looking into that as a possibility, but of course we've got to get to the end of this contract first. Anyway, that's all from me for today, and so that's you for WQB.
Or Whiskey, Golf 4, Whiskey, Quebec, Bravo, and making sure the project was Brandmeister this time. Okay, yes. ISP certainly does, that's Andrews and Arnold, it was their selling point. That's the thing that I have to IP version 4 addresses at the moment. They do provide some services to amateur radio, including, if I remember right, announcing some services onto the ARM mesh. But you do pay for the privilege to get an ISP that's definitely customer focused enough to do that. Main selling point at the time was the IP version 4 was nice, but the huge block of IP version 6 was much better. So yeah, now just got to start playing with it. Okay, we have got 2 stations left on the net before we close. Being down now to Ian, we've got 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, G4 and RC.
G4 NRC, this is G3 ZHX. Got a couple of things to say. Encryption. Encryption, the doctrine is that it only protects you for a period. And the period depends on how complex the encryption is. So a short key may protect you for a tactical event, which is whereas a long key may protect you for a strategic event, which will last perhaps for a month until somebody actually gets through. And if one's computing comes on screen, that would be a benefit and problem in that it will enable all the AES to be cracked, and on the other hand, it may provide its own form of encryption, which will be even more difficult. Who knows? And yes, I said that right. And the last thing then is thanks to you and Graham for running the net and streaming it respectively. Be around again next week, I hope, from P3 ZHX.
Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray. See, yeah, conventional computing, even this level, there's a nice table online, which of course I'm not going to find in time for this, which goes, this is a password and how long it will take to just crack them by brute force. So anything less than about 6 digits or 8 digits or 6 letters even is really not. It's just too easy to crack by everybody. So yes, you're quite right. Same as any locking system, even the lock on your front door is only there to deter the perimeter. Professional will be through it in a heartbeat. And of course you have to program what you're transmitting, not getting the public by somebody else. It leads me to my tantalising thing for the end of the net. I've noticed with the relaxation, some stations using WinLink. Never been a fan, have to say that. I think it's but just a reminder for any groups contemplating the use of WinLink. One, they don't tolerate encryption on their system because it's an American encryption for everything. And two, all messages passed via WinLink are available to view on the viewers. The wordage says it's only for US gateways. The other week, just to confirm my suspicions, and selected messages going through HD9AK, the WinLink gateway in Switzerland. There was all the traffic going in and out particular WinLink gateway presented in public for everybody to see, and this is a disclosure mechanism so that they can prove to everybody it's not a commercial service, it's there for amateur use only. User services thing for finding data on a quasi-semi-public website. So leave that. Make sure you have total trust in all your transmission means and where your data is going. Mike Drew, Brandmeister 1 was yours. Mike 0, Mike Foxtrot Sierra, G4, and I'll see him.
Sorry, and I'll see M0 MFS. Oh, mine's not as much fun as that. Mine was just to let everyone know that there's a rewrite happening to the GUI for Arden nodes. It will make probably the next 1 or 2 a week, which are lovely called nightly builds, but in reality only happen every 2 to 3 weeks. The last one was 9, which is either the 9th of August or the September, must have been the 9th of August. And it's not in that one. So there will be another formal build for 6 weeks or so. They're coming out quite fast now. The last one was because of so yeah, that's happening on the island space. Oh, just a follow-up on the encryption. I guess all we are hoping for is to avoid the simple person in some respects, you know. Just going to DMR does a little bit of that, and we're probably going to use Motorola house encryption, you know, which isn't really encryption. It just makes it more difficult for people like this. Somebody really wants to do it, and they belong to a certain agency. They're probably doing it live anyway. Other than that, thanks for running the net, Greg, and catch you guys all next week from
Mike Foxtrot Sierra, G4, and I'll see you returning. Yeah, okay. Yes, I had a conversation with somebody from one of those agencies. It was effectively decode everything you said, and yeah, I put my challenge back was, yeah, I'll find it. Because we have a lot of spectrum we can put things into. Just to do a little bit of a pushback on this, but yeah, we have lots of tools available to us to be, and that's our advantage. We've got so many tools in the box. You can hide stuff under the noise. However, you do need to be sure of the information chain if you're going to guarantee trust. I think I heard something about the changed GUI for Arden nodes. When I go and have a look at the nodes, I think I will have got that, but I'll set the settings just to see if there's any new toys in there, because it should have rebooted by now. Right, so today I think that's it. So thanks everybody for taking time out to participate in this afternoon's net. Be careful, have a good week. Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time. I'm going to close the RAYNET-UK weekly talk groups to 3531 Pheonix and Brandmeister to 503531 on the RAYNET-UK server. We'll return those talk groups being an open net rather than a directed net. Golf 4 November Romeo Charlie now closing, and reverted to our normal call sign, call 0, Delta.